Hey guys, my name is Aubrey and welcome to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a credit card that I have in this box right here that I am unboxing, and this credit card increased my credit score by over 50 points in less than 1 month. Now, let's get started. Before I reveal to you what this credit card is and all of the juicy details on how I got this magical credit card, I would greatly appreciate if you could please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button down below. I would greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the YouTube algorithm. And if you haven't done so already, then make sure to do that before this video ends. So now that we've gotten the like and subscribing out of the way, now let's talk about this magical credit card right here that increased my credit score by over 50 points in less than 1 month. Now, I am partially kidding here. This is not a credit card unboxing. In fact, this credit card didn't even come in this box. This box is from a puzzle set that my sister got me when she went to India. But it doesn't change the validity of my claim, which is that this credit card right here that I'm holding really did increase my credit score by over 50 points in under 1 month. It just didn't come in this fancy box, and I'm not going to be doing a $1 million credit card unboxing like Graham Stephan did a few years ago. This credit card came to me in a regular envelope. It was delivered to my house, and it's something that almost all of y'all can get if you don't already have it. But before we dig into the specifics of this specific credit card, let's first talk about kind of what my credit situation is and why having it increased by 50 points is a pretty big deal for me. So I started building my credit score whenever I was just 16 years old. I got a credit card and I used it to pay for gas and food and all that type of stuff. And my dad really drilled into my sister's and I's head on how important it was to build credit at a young age. So at 18, I was able to get my first auto loan, and then by the time I was 21 years old, I actually got a $330,000 SBA loan, and that was because of the fact that I had absolutely perfect credit and an impressive credit history at just 21 years old. But unfortunately, in 2018, I lost my business due to a fire, and the aftermath of that was really quite severe. I lost my income stream literally overnight. I had no way to pay my bills. I had no way to pay my business expenses or my personal expenses. I had to pay my staff. I had to pay my vendors. It really was extremely detrimental, and it was really sudden and unexpected. In fact, I had insurance on the business, and insurance has been an absolute nightmare. And as I'm recording this today, a year and a half after my fire, I am still in the middle of a lawsuit with my insurance company. So what does a 25-year-old do whenever their business is shut down overnight and they have bills to pay? Well, I destroyed my credit in the process. I had to pay my employees, I had to pay my vendors, I had to pay all of these expenses that I had in both my personal life and in my business life. And as a result, I racked up a lot of credit card bills and I became behind on a lot of my payments. And as a result, my credit got absolutely destroyed. Now, I spent most of 2019 avoiding using credit cards altogether. I paid for everything in cash and I just tried to catch up on the bills that I had fallen behind on. But even with that, even with the fact that I wasn't adding any more to my credit cards by the middle of 2019 and I was just slowly paying it down, my credit score was still really bad, and it was under 500 points for a short period of time. Now, the destruction of my credit only lasted a couple of months after the fire. I abused my credit during those months as a way to stay afloat. And even though the period of time of the destruction only lasted a couple of months, the aftermath has lasted over a year now. And even though I haven't used a single credit card, I haven't missed a payment, I have been able to pay my bills for the last really over a year, the aftermath of abusing my credit after the fire has really taken its toll on my credit even today. So one of my focuses in 2020 was to improve my credit score, and the goal was to get it to 600 points by the end of the year. And at the end of December, my credit score was about 495, so it was right under 500 points. But in order to build my credit, I really had to get a credit card because I had to start putting good credit onto my credit history. Even though I wasn't adding bad debt and more debt onto my credit history, the fact that I wasn't adding anything positive wasn't improving my credit score. And as a result, in the entire year of 2019, even though I had caught up on a lot of my bills, I still wasn't able to really improve my score. So the solution to that was applying for different credit cards. So I did my research on different credit cards for people with bad credit histories. and there really isn't a ton of options out there. But one of the options that worked really well for me was a secured credit card, which means that you put down a down deposit and your credit limit is limited to the amount of money that you put down as a deposit. So if you get approved for a secured credit card, then you have to put down a $50 or $100 or $200 deposit. And then once you put that deposit down, you'll be sent your credit card and then you'll have a $200 credit limit, meaning that you can spend up to $200 at any given time on that credit card. The way that credit companies do this is that they take the deposit. That way, if at some point during your relationship with this credit card company, you end up not paying your bills, they can take your deposit from you and use that deposit to pay off the bill that you've accumulated. So after doing a lot of research, I settled on the Capital One Secured MasterCard, and that is the card I have right here. This card required a $250 deposit and my credit limit is $250. I have it synced to AutoPay, so every single month it just takes the money out of my account. And I really just use this for things like gas and food. I don't put a whole lot of stuff on it just because $250 isn't really that much and I don't buy a whole lot of stuff. So I use it for groceries, for gas, for random stuff that I need, but not really anything else. So I applied for this credit card back in January of this year, and by the time I was approved and by the time that the credit card was actually sent to me, it was the end of February. And by the time I actually started spending money on it and I started paying the bill, it really was like the beginning of March. So I've been actually using this credit card as a functioning credit card for just about 1 month's time. And at the beginning of this year, before I was approved for this credit card, I had a credit score of 497 points. And as I make this video today, as I've been using this credit card for just about 1 month, my credit score is at 576 points. Meaning that in just about a month, not only did my score increase by over 50 points, it increased by 79 points in less than 1 month. That is more than my score increase of all of 2019 while I was getting caught up on my bills. It is more than my credit score has ever increased in any given time. And that is all thanks to this Capital One Secured MasterCard. Now, you guys may be asking yourself, what is the point of getting this credit card? It doesn't accumulate points. It has an embarrassingly low limit, and it really doesn't do any good for people who are actually wanting to buy stuff on a credit card for the purpose of accumulating points or buying stuff for their businesses or buying large purchases. And the fact of the matter is, you're right. I mean, this card has bad interest. It has no real benefits. It really doesn't do anything, except it does one thing, and that one thing is incredibly important for people like me, and that is it helps build your credit. I know that there are YouTubers out there touting the cards that give them hotel points or airline points or points to travel or rent cars or whatever the case is. And those cards are extremely cool. And whenever I had a perfect credit score, I did have those cards. In fact, I have over 150,000 airline miles right now and a couple of weeks stays worth of hotels because of the fact that when I had a perfect credit score, I used those credit cards in a healthy manner and I was able to rack up a ton of points and a ton of benefits by using credit cards in a responsible way. But the fact of the matter is that whenever I needed a credit card, I used it, and as a result, I destroyed my credit, and I no longer qualify for those really cool credit cards that give you a ton of benefit. And as a result, I now only qualify for this, which is a very entry-level credit card with no benefits, but it does improve my credit quite significantly. Now, I know that I probably will end up getting a lot of crap from different people saying that I abused my credit cards and I shouldn't get another one and X, Y, and Z. And in a way, you're right. I did abuse my credit cards, and as a result, I am paying the price. But if I could go back in time, I wouldn't have changed a thing that I did. Is I had obligations that I had to pay. I had staff that I had to pay. I had vendors that I had to pay, and I needed to do that. And as a result, I used my credit cards to do it, and I am now paying the price 1.5 years later. I'm a 26-year-old entrepreneur with a really bad credit score, and that is because of the fact that I had obligations I had to fulfill, and I did whatever I had to do in order to do that. And my credit score is now paying the price. But if you are somebody that has bad credit and you're wanting to improve it, and maybe you had bad credit because you're like me and you were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place and you had to find a solution to the problem, and that was abusing your credit. Or maybe you're somebody that has just never had a credit history and you're wanting to build your credit from ground zero. Or maybe you're somebody who's never had a credit card and you're not really sure where to start. This Capital One secured MasterCard has been a really great tool for me to build my credit from a really negative place into a positive one. And my goal of getting to a 600 credit score by the end of 2020 has all of a sudden became extremely realistic, and I should have no problem reaching that goal much sooner than January 1st. So I know that this wasn't really a real unboxing. I know that this credit card isn't as cool as Graham Stephan's $1 million credit card. I know that it doesn't provide you with the benefits that so many other credit cards do. But if you are somebody like me who wants to improve your credit and be able to use credit in a responsible way later on down the road to your advantage, then I highly recommend that you check out this Capital One secured MasterCard. It has improved my score by 79 points in just under 1 month, and I'm sure it can do the same for you. But again, I want to preface that I am in no way encouraging people to get credit cards. This is just sharing my experience on how this credit card positively affected my credit score after nearly a year of hovering in the high 400s. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it taught you something about credit and also my own financial situation, because many people are surprised to hear that I have horrible credit. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video.